wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. We definitely could use a little bit of happiness, right, Charlamagne? I like that.
Well, I got to start off, before you do, I got to start off with some sports. Last night, Bronny James scored 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He actually led the Lakers in scoring last night, but they lost to the Bucks, but he did good. That's good. Yeah. He did good. I just want to put it out there. We talk about when he does bad, but we got to talk about when he does good, too.
We don't talk about when he does bad.
Everybody does, they do. We don't, but go ahead.
This is his first good game.
Yes.
It was. All right, so, oh my God. I mean, it was. He ain't lying. Hey, let's get into the news, okay? Front page. All right, let's get into it. So President Trump, he wants to dismantle the Department of Education. So yesterday, he signed an executive order aimed at dismantling the department and said everyone knows it's the right thing to do after looking at test scores of U.S. children. He believes the power should be returned to the states. Let's take a listen to President Trump's comments.
After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, yet near the bottom of the list in terms of success. We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs, and this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything about this, but do the states have money to fund their own educational systems? I mean, I know some states do, like California, but what about I don't know, Arkansas?
Some of the rural areas, some of the more rural areas, right? You're raising a very good point. It's not going to be an equal type of situation if you return it back to the states. The education system does need federal funding, federal backing, and federal support. Meanwhile, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt also spoke on the matter ahead of the president signing that executive order, saying declining test scores and reading, writing, math, and low proficiency levels at every grade level across every state are the reason why the department should be eliminated. She went on to say that the teachers' unions have not been standing up for America's students. Now, she's not wrong in the fact that, the scores have been low and in regards to that. And also, across the board, COVID impacted us all, right? Mm-hmm. So Trump's executive order directs Education Secretary Linda McMahon to take all necessary steps to facilitate the closure of the department. Now, Education Secretary Linda McMahon will have to get congressional approval to officially abolish the department. And the Education Department was first established under President Carter in 1979. Now, what about the teachers? Now, how do they feel about this? Now, education advocates are speaking out ahead of the president's executive order that shuts down the Department of Education. Frederick Ingram with the American Federation of Teachers says the president has given no indication of what this really means, adding that he is preying on America's most vulnerable children. Let's hear more of those comments from the American Federation of Teachers, Frederick Ingram.
We have heard no plan moving forward from President Trump nor his administration about what education should look like, what we're going to do, and the role that the federal government plays. These are millions of children who rely on federal funds to have a safe school site and to have the resources that they need.
Yeah, Ingram went on to say he will see the president in court because the organization believes what the president is doing is illegal. He says the group will sue if Congress approves the dismantling of the Department of Education, which again was created in 1979. The department sends billions of dollars a year to schools for its most vulnerable students to oversee $1.6 trillion in federal student loans.
Yeah, the brother that was just speaking is absolutely right, and then I'm just thinking about the whole situation. Like, on one hand, yes, if you are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on education, but the schools are trash and kids aren't learning, that's a problem. But what's the actual solution? Like, I just don't see the solution being, hey, the states can handle it, because some of these states aren't going to have the money to handle it.
But I was going to say that, like, yeah, if the education is failing, right, and we putting all these millions and billions and trillions of dollars into the school education and it's not working, how is this money going to be allocated? Is he still allocating the money to the state and then saying the state handle it? Is that what he's doing, or is he just pulling it and saying y'all on your own?
No, he said the states got to handle it on their own, so that the states would have to pay for it with their tax dollars, right?
Yeah. We're not. I don't have an answer as to what type of federal support, if any, there will be in terms of education. So,
and what that brother just said. What's the other plan for the education system? Like, they haven't heard anything except for, hey, we're dismantling the Department of Education. Right. The states can handle it. What does that mean?
It has to be a solution.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll talk immigration and deportation in the 7 o'clock hour. That's your front page news for 6.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Morgan. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. Again, I want to start off with some quick sports. Last night, Bronny, he did pretty good last night. He dropped 17 points. He had 5 assists and 3 rebounds. He led the Lakers in scoring. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, 118-89, but
we also can't do that to Bronny, though. Salute to Bronny. We glad he dropped 17 points, but 17 points is regular.
That is not regular in the NBA. Everybody don't drop no damn 17 points.
Is that more than he's ever done?
Yes, that is his career high, but we wouldn't be highlighting that if it wasn't Bronny. Yes.
Oh.
We wouldn't be highlighting that if it wasn't Bronny James. Somebody else scored 17 points in the NBA last night. You don't give a damn.
Nah, but the fact is, but he led the Lakers in
We're
scoring.
rooting for him because he's LeBron's son.
But not only that, they tore this man down, said he was trash and he shouldn't be in the league. But the fact that he's scoring 17 points is showing that he's improving.
That was a good game. He had a good game.
That's all I want to say. Salute to that brother having a good game.
Okay.
What's up, Morgan?
What's up, Envy, Charlamagne, Jess, Lauren, Hey Ho crew, and the listeners too. Let's get into it. So yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he held an immigration roundtable with border czar Tom Homan, who says in 4 months, there has been a 96% decline in border crossings. Now, Homan also said the Trump administration is not going to stop removing Venezuelan gang members despite interference from federal judges. Acting Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf also says federal judges will not stop Trump's efforts to remove gang members. So let's take a listen to the comments from border czar Tom Homan and Acting Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf.
I'm happy. I'm not satisfied. We're not going to rest. I'm not going to sleep well at night until every public safety threat, illegal aliens eradicated from this country. That's when we'll relax, and that's when we'll take some action.
And so this idea that you're going to have a judge or even, the left of the country is now siding, first they sided with illegal aliens, and now they're siding with terrorists instead of with the American people.
So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis again says everything that President Trump is doing by executive order to fight illegal immigration should be codified by Congress. Now, just like I said, I called this. This is what the whole deportation immigration thing is about. It's not about, the illegals that are being the illegal criminals per se. It's the ones that get caught up in the mix that didn't do anything wrong. So one of the migrants deported with the Venezuelan gang members had no criminal record. Franco Caraballo was unexpectedly detained during a routine check with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He was then deported to El Salvador, accused of being a part of a Venezuelan gang. And his lawyer says Caraballo is a barber who has no criminal record in the U.S. or Venezuela and has not been charged illegally with entering the country. He added that his client was not given due process. So that's what this is all about. Got to keep in mind.
So does he have his papers? Did he have his papers? Like, is he a legal citizen? Or?
Yeah. So he's going to probably get his due process now that he has lawyered up. But that's the whole, who walks around with papers, a
lot of people walk around with papers now.
You need to, but I'll tell you, matter of fact, you need to have them taped to your forehead. But that is racist if you just round him up just because of his ethnicity.
And then I'm also hearing that there are people who are being targeted because of tattoos. If you have gang affiliated tattoos or, if you just have tattoos that seem gang affiliated, a lot of this is a matter of, but the bottom line is, due process needs to be had, right? So moving on to things in New York. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is highlighting progress on a homeless and mentally ill outreach program during his Mental Health Week. Adams says since the start of his subway safety plan 3 years ago, the administration has connected 8,400 New Yorkers to shelter and more than 800 have been placed in permanent affordable housing. He went on to say since last August, the PATH program was able to deliver shelter, meals, and medical help for 3,000 times to the homeless, and 900 of them were removed from the transit system for different violations. Let's take a listen to New York City Mayor Eric Adams' comments on this.
Our administration has taken bold actions and bold steps to make sure we approach individuals, give them the care and support that they deserve. Whichever way you look at this program, PATH, it has delivered for New Yorkers. And what is more, this program is working.
Since launching in August of last year, the city's partnership assistance for transit homeless program has resulted in the NYPD removing more than 900 people from the transit system for various violations. So you guys are up there. Any thoughts on that? You seeing anything cleaned up? You hearing anything now?
I haven't seen nothing cleaned up. My daughter's dance in the last couple of weekends, we had to go to New York City, and it's bad. Like, when I say bad, I mean it is bad. Homelessness, I mean, people that they look like they drugged and zooted out. It's very, very bad, to the point where I'm like, where are all these shelters? Where are all these mental houses that we had before that would house them and help these people? I just don't see it. And I'm sure New York will see the same thing. And I said,
I agree.
It's bad.
And I don't understand when elected officials like Mayor Adams say things like that as if we don't have eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Well,
it's like, what?
no, to your point, that's why I ask. I always would like to see the parallel of what the people see versus what the elected official is saying, And if we can end on such a positive good note on this Feel Good Friday, in Georgia, a high school senior in Douglas County is preparing to choose where he wants to go to college after being accepted to 58 colleges and universities, and he earned over $1 million in scholarships. Mantavius Presley attends Douglas County High and has also received more than $1 million in scholarships. Some of the schools hoping to grab Presley include Morehouse College, Mercer University, Howard University, and the University of Alabama. Presley is very involved in his school and community and is the president of the school's Future Business Leaders of America and the National Honor Society chapters. There's no word on which college Presley has decided to attend, but if I may put my bid in, Mr. Presley, I'm an advocate for HBCU. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Y'all follow me on socials at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Happy Friday. Cheers to the weekend.
Thank you, Morgan. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Peace, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.